everybody. How are you? I'm just talking to you like we don't have a whole audience watching us. So this is the Richie Moon Show. And you know, we make high-level conversations, observations, a normal thing. And today, our guest is the lovely Mia Jae. Y'all see me, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all know I don't interview people or tell people I don't mess with their stuff. Like, I've studied her album, listened to it back and forth. I have theories on it, you know, all that good stuff. But before we get into the album and everything, what made you want to start out with arts?
So I've been doing the arts, anything arts related, since I was a little kid. Both of my parents are creatives, so it was kind of the track that everyone kind of expected me to go on. My little brother does the same thing, so we all came from like a really musical and artistic household. So like, you know, if I told my parents I was gonna be a doctor, they'd be like, really? For real? But like a singer, they were like, that makes sense. Totally, absolutely. So yeah.
What was that first moment you were just like, yeah, this is what
Funny you asked. It was at Highview Elementary School.
Hey.
And it was like music class, and we did The Greatest Love of All.
Okay.
And I had a solo. It was the first time I ever sang solo doing anything.
Wow.
And my dad recorded it on like one of those like old school like dictaphone recording things, like the little like mini tapes. I remember we played it back, and he was like, "Oh shit, my dad can sing." So he was like, I was like, yeah, that does sound pretty good, don't it? And my mother is a talent manager, so she was like, yeah, it does sound really good. And then from there, we now became yes. So.
You know, that's really interesting because Highview, well, to give people some context.
Background.
Mia Jae and I went to the same elementary, so that's grade school.
Grade school.
Grade school.
And I was only there for
third.
1 year, yeah. I was only there for third grade, too.
And I seen her, I was doing the ticket thing at Afro Punk, this is 2016, and I seen her walk up to me and I was just like, I know that face. I've seen that face before, and I was like, oh, you're the first one I ever heard say the word metamorphosis, and you were just like, yeah. I was just like, you went to Highview, and you were just like, yeah.
That's wild. That's such a wild memory. I'm glad I was the first person that you remember saying the word metamorphosis. That's such an ill memory.
It's not like it's something like, oh, just randomly, oh yeah, me is the first person I ever heard say metamorphosis. When I seen you, it was just like, oh,
exactly.
you were the first person I ever heard say metamorphosis. So yeah, but
put that in the song.
That was actually Highview. We did a play. I don't remember what it was, but I remember I had like one line in it, and I said it, and everybody laughed, and I was just like, oh yeah.
You're like, I like this.
I like this. I like this. I like this.
We gonna do this again.
Right.
We gonna do this more.
So did you do like musical theater through high school?
I did. I did musical theater. Since kind of that moment. My biggest, I think when was it my freshman year of high school? I did my first off-Broadway performance. I was Dorothy in the Woods, which was dope. Then I did Into the Woods. I was the witch in Into the Woods. So like I got a lot of off-Broadway experience, which was really dope. I took a little time off, and I actually worked in advertising for a hot second, which was interesting. It was boring, so I stopped. But
did that help your?
It helped me realize what I didn't want to do.
Which is very important. Yo.
I was like, oh, this office shit is not my jam, y'all. I cannot get down with this.
I think people undermined or don't take into account the things that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
So I think that was probably a very important part.
Yeah, because like I did it for a couple of years, and it was a career I was steadily building, and one day it was just like, this ain't it, chief. So I didn't do that, and then actually right after I quit my job, I auditioned for Rent, and then I got the role of Joanne.
Hey, wow, okay, nice.
The role of Joanne, so I did that for the 20th anniversary off-Broadway performance, so that was lit. And so you know we did that, and since then I've been kind of chucking away at the musical theater thing, and then my own project kind of just happened by accident, and now.
All right. So you did so this is after high school, right?
After high school, after college, I worked in advertising, and then I came back.
So let's go to like right after high school. What college did you go to?
I went to Marymount Manhattan College. I was a musical theater major and an acting performance minor. Obviously did show. What shows did you do? Ironically. So at Marymount, unfortunately, to say that there was a lack of diversity is an understatement.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, bleach
you know, and it's like, it's not meant, there's only a handful of shows anyway, a handful of like musicals with a black cast anyway, where you're not just like, you know, tap dancer number 2, like, you know what I mean? And I'm a singer. She can dance, but she's a singer. So, yeah, I actually never did a full main stage. We did a lot of like showcases and stuff, but I never did a full main stage because there was never like a show where they were really casting black people. Sorry, Maribel.
I mean, it's the truth.
Let's keep it a stack.
I went through some of the similar things at AMDA.
Okay.
We did have a very diverse class, and AMDA was diverse, but it was a very classical, August Wilson, the stereotypical, and it's just like, there's so much more. So much more. I mean, no, not to August Wilson.
Of course.
There's just so much more that we can do besides just.
Yeah, like all I got were like Dreamgirls cuts to sing, and I was like, y'all, I'm so tired of screaming at y'all at 10 in the morning, like every morning. So all I gotta do is belt. That's all I'm gonna do.
Right. I feel you. Yeah. So you graduate from college, you go into advertising. What is drawn you back to music?
So actually, I didn't graduate from Marymount. I left early, and then I started working because I got offered the job while I was at Marymount. I like was applying and like, you know, just random things were happening and stuff. And I ended up getting this dope job. So I took the job, took some time off of school, did that for a long time. And then, yeah, it was just a matter of not really feeling fulfilled with what I was doing, you know? So, like, advertising was cool, but it wasn't it for sure. So I kind of came back to music. I went back to school for childhood education. And I was going to be like a music teacher, like a kindergarten music teacher.
Okay.
And because it gave me kind of a little more freedom with my schedule to audition, because like, you get out of school at like what 1, 2, then you could audition all day. You could, and then yeah, I was in the middle of doing that, and then I stumbled upon a couple of producers along the way, and the rest is kind of
history. So did you ever get a chance to work with any kids? Okay, I was gonna say kids can teach you a lot.
Kids are the best. Kids are the best. I always say kids are the best. I'd much rather hang around kids than adults. Like I'm telling you, they rock and they're honest. They keep it a stack. They're like, wasn't really that great. The kid I was a nanny for a long time. This kid I nannied, he was like the first person to hear parts of my album. Obviously, it's like, you know, our kids not all kid friendly, but he would straight up just be like, oh, I like that one. And I'd be like,
you know what?
I'm not back. You might be right. You might be right. And he'll be like, it's a bop. And I'd be like, you know what, kid? You might be right. So, no, I think kids are great. And I definitely think because they don't have the filter that we all, you know, get just from growing up.
Yeah.
That, you know, a kid's opinion is always the honest opinion. You always trust a kid if they don't like a person. You be like, my kid doesn't like you. You probably wild suspect. Like, you know.
That's a fact. Kids just like you said, there's no.
They pick up on energy. It's easier.
Exactly. So you stop working with the kids. And you start meeting some producers.
I do.
Now, was this something that you were kind of manifesting in your head, like,
no.
Okay, I want to do a project? No?
Nope. I never wanted to be a mainstream artist. Ever, not once. I never wanted to put out an album. It was never a goal of mine. I just wanted to be Broadway. I wanted to be like the next like Audrey McDonald, and that was it. Like, there was no like, nah. Even when I was younger, it was never like I wanted to be like Whitney. I was like, nah. I would, like, of course, don't get me wrong. I want to be I want to be like Whitney now, so y'all can feel free to make that happen. But you know, that wasn't it for me. Broadway was really my goal. But you know, I came across a couple of producers, and I started like writing music a little bit. I was going through some stuff. I started writing music, and then I was working with these producers in Brooklyn, and then I went to a party, at Sad Selected Studio, and I met Terminology there. And I was like, oh my God, Joe, you did that song, Desert Eagle. I love that song. So my favorite song. He was like, first of all, why do you know that song? Because I'm all like prim and pop. I'm like, yo, Desert Eagle is my shit. And he was like, why do you know that?
They don't know that Mia Jae is a battle rapper on the side.
You know, I love skate. They don't
know that Mia Jae is a battle rapper on the side.
Yeah, I come across very nice. But so I was like, yeah, it's my favorite song. We actually did the song like karaoke that night. And he was like, oh, you can sing. And I was like, oh, no, like I can sing.
I can sing.
I was like, with 2 A's. I don't ever do that. When people are like, oh, can you sing? You're like, oh, me do it. No, I sing. So yeah, basically. And so like I kind of bagged Term a little bit into working together, and then the first song we did was Better Man.
Oh, that was the first song.
That was my very first song I ever did. And Term produced it, and then it was like, oh shit, this was a song, and then the rest of the project came. It took me 2 years to do that project, 2 full years. But yeah, we did it. And
so, Miss Mia Jae. So
like, is the water?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we keep it real. I'm sweating, so I'm a little rowdy. So, yeah. So, Miss Mia Jae, you were doing this. You were working on your CD for 2 years.
Yes.
There's a lot that happened in between that 2 years.
Absolutely.
How was your trip to London?
Huh?
How was your trip to London?
London was amazing. So I was in London, Paris, and Amsterdam. I did a theater program in London. So I was out there for a couple of weeks. We did a showcase at the West End. It was dope. On the West End, it was super dope. So I got my cute little, international credit in my belt. In case, I need to move. Because I got some international credits over there. But and then I went to Paris by myself, and I never actually traveled by myself. Like that's not something I'm not a very like solo dolo ass person. As of recent, I've become one. Shout out to quarantine, but normally I'm not. So I went to Paris myself, and I actually met Term in Amsterdam because he was on tour, and then I did a show with them out there, which was super. It was a 2 international credits. But it was really dope, and it was I came at a really kind of like turning point-ish kind of time in my life. I wrote a lot of music when I was in Europe, but it definitely it wasn't my first time going, but it was my first time going like as a grown adult without like it wasn't going with your parents. We were going with like a school like student exchange kind of thing. So yeah, I learned a lot about myself during that whole little trip, a little Euro trip. But,
yeah, I remember seeing the pictures on your Instagram.
Yeah.
So the European trip really helped shape couples therapy.
For sure. I was in the middle of couples therapy when I was writing couples therapy. Not all the songs. Better Man came actually no last. I was in couples therapy for that too. So yeah, no, I was in couples therapy for a lot of the writing of that album. So it was a lot of things came very fresh and very raw from those situations.
It sounds like it, and that's what really drew me to the album. So before we actually start talking about couples therapy, why did you name it? I mean, it seems kind of obvious why you would name it, but I don't like to assume. Why did you name it couples therapy?
Well, it was really a lot of it was what I got, from my side of the therapy that I was in the relationship that I was in at the time. Yeah, it was a lot of just processing through my emotions, and it became like my own therapy. Definitely writing that album became my own therapy.
You can hear that in the songs and the way it flows and the track order of how it goes and everything. So like I was saying to you before we started recording, I have a theory about couples therapy. And that
I'm like, wow, my album's getting theories? Oh shit.
It's actually the 6 stages of grief.
And it's funny, you are not, like I said to you before, you're not the first person to say that, but that's not what I was doing. It wasn't intentional that way, but yeah, it's definitely what I was going through. So like when it was said to me the first time, I was like, huh, damn, yeah, you might be right. I was going through, yeah, damn, shit, okay, but yeah, so that is kind of how it ended up, because that's exactly what I was going through at the time.
That's interesting that you weren't purposely trying to do that. The CD has 6 songs on it, so that's also like, oh yeah, this is done on purpose. 6 songs, that. So to find out that you didn't do that, just kind of the way the universe works.
Yeah.
So, Better Man, the first song you recorded, Why did you start off with that? Well, I think that's, for me, I think that's the denial part, because you're talking about making somebody a better man. To me, it seems like you're trying to convince him. You're telling yourself that he's a better man, but at the same time, you're telling him that he can be a better man, but you're singing it to try to convince you and him that he can be a better man.
You got pretty on that. You knocked the nail on the head on that one. That was pretty much what was happening. I was out here trying to be like, I can make you a better man. And it wasn't really hitting. Yeah, no, that was the first song, and that was the first song I wrote. So it was the first single, and yeah, so it kind of went first because it was the beginning of that journey. Thank you.
And I like the fact that you write your own music.
Yeah.
This is too personal for somebody else to.
Yeah, and like it would. I definitely am not opposed to working with other people and writing with people, but yeah, this one it was so much more of like a cathartic thing for me to just get it out, and it just happened to be like, shit, it rhymes and it's a song, but I can make it like an album. But yeah, I was really just trying to. I was at a really dark place, and I had to figure out a way to kind of pull myself out, and it turned out to be this album, which was really dope.
I agree. So when I listened to track number 2, Can't Sleep, there is I don't want to say anger.
I was angry.
Okay.
She angry. I'm nasty. Angry. Can't sleep.
Okay. Yeah, there's a little bit of.
I'm salty. I'm a little better.
A little bit of anger. You know what I'm saying? Not saying no names. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying no names.
I like the stories that you were telling in now, because I remember seeing the pictures of you online. It was just like seeing the pictures on your Instagram.
And you're like, oh shit.
I'm like, oh, okay. So like, she ain't faking the funk. Like, this is the things that she actually went through. I appreciate that. I can always appreciate an artist that's like, oh, that's what they went through. That's what's in their art. Because that's the way.
I got receipts. It
Exactly.
happened.
Got the receipts. All right, 2 for 2. Boom. How it feels is, it was my favorite song. It was my favorite song on the album. This is the song that when I play for other people, sometimes the people like a second, when they play this, I'm like, oh, I'm like, yeah, so you know what, we're going back to number 1, because you clearly weren't paying attention. You clearly weren't listening. You know what I'm saying? So let's go back, but this is the song that when it gets here, people are just, oh my gosh, she can sing. It's just like, did you not hear the first 2 songs? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how it feels, how that seems like to me like the natural single first. So why did you choose Better Man over How It Feels? Just because you recorded it first?
How It Feels didn't exist yet. How It Feels did not exist yet. There was not even a plan to do a whole project. It was just Better Man, and then Better Man. It just became bigger than I ever could have imagined it being. Like, I remember like waking up the next day and being like, how many people play this song? Like, I don't know that many people. Like, I understand my parents played it a lot, but like my friends played it, but like people and like with like the responses that I was getting from it, like the process I was getting, I was like, y'all, whoa, okay. Like, so I guess I should probably like write an album, So that's how it kind of came out, and I was like, damn, I'm still sad. I still got shit to say. So let's see. But yeah, no, it was not. It's because it didn't exist. It didn't exist. Better Man was first, and then that's How It Feels became the second single, ultimately. But yeah, no, there was no.
Oh wow! So you almost kind of wrote this like actually in order.
Yeah, it took 2 years for sure, because it took me a long time. Then oh god, poor term. He used to just call me and be like, "Did you finish writing your album?" I'd be like, "No." And then something would happen. He'd like read a couple tweets and be like, "Oh, you look like you about to write a song tonight." I'm like, "Listen, some shit happened. I'm about to write a song."
It's all about it.
He's like, "Good. That means your album might be finished this year." Yeah, no, it really became a point of contention. He was like, "Girl, you gotta put this album out." But for me, it was very nitpicky, because my feelings were so up in the air during so much of this of the process of writing it, and so much other, so life got in the way a few times. But yeah, no, I definitely, How It Feels. A lot of people say they're like, wow, or Can't Sleep. A lot of people are like, wow, it wasn't a single. And I'm like, it didn't exist. There was no Can't Sleep or How It Feels.
Was there ever a point when you were writing this when you were just like, no, I can't talk about that. That's a bit too revealing. I'm putting the mirror up to myself a bit too much for this.
There were a lot of things, like, I make a lot of references that, like, I make a lot of drug references, and like sexual references, and it's like, for people who know me personally, they're probably gonna laugh it off, and like even just people who know me on like a very like maybe like an acquaintance level, and like my family, they're probably like, oh damn, like but I feel like if I censored it too much, it wouldn't ring authentic the same way, if I didn't, because that was the full shoot, but I feel like that adds to the entire the life of the track, because if you like hide it, it's not the full story.
I agree. You definitely gave it life. So, kind of fun. You
still got a groove back.
This, yes, very much still got her groove back. This is also, you made this song very easy for somebody to shoot the shot. I mean, you like
those DMs when that was just like, it was so bad. I was like, damn, girl. It was the alley-oop. Like,
it really is.
I don't want to waste your time. I was like, oh, come on.
Oh, man, you really use my words for my song, right?
He's going to hit on me for my own lyrics. Damn.
I remember hearing that. I was just like, oh, I don't even say anything. Here, listen to the song.
He said, how you feel?
How you feel? Maybe. No, I appreciate this. Even though like I'm a speaker, I'm an interviewer, I'm a performer, used to be a rapper, poet, very easy for me to talk to people, whatever. I struggle sometimes with having one-on-one conversations with them.
Really?
So yeah, it's
I'm the worst. I be Kobe in here shooting all the shots. You get shot. You
nervous,
get
yo.
shot. You get shot.
It's one. I can get rejected by. I can go to an audition and get rejected. I don't know.
Right? I was gonna say our whole jobs are getting rejected.
But to like unveil, to open myself up, to be vulnerable, say yo, feeling you, I like you, want to take you out, and you're like, thank you, but no, thank you. And it's just like,
okay.
It's like you just walk away, so like that. This song, it just makes it easier.
It's the shoot your shot song. Please shoot your shot with this song and let me know if it works out. DM me and let me know if it works out. Kobe, all day. I'm a big fan of the shooting the shot. I always tell my homegirls, yo, shoot your shot. You be surprised, especially as a girl. 9 times out of 10, that joint works, because men are always there. I feel like it's either men enjoy having a woman like. Because a lot more men are insecure about it. Like you mentioned, they like to put on. Like, yes, of course there's a machismo, but a lot of dudes say that. They're like, yo, it's all cool. There's a group of people, but like, it's me and her. I gotta like, what's up? And like, especially if you're in a bar. Like, I don't know how we're gonna do it now since bars don't exist, but so right, it's getting there. There's a lot of like, hey, pink mask, what up?
Yeah.
But
wow, pink mask coming out.
Pink mask was good. You look good with that pink mask, shorty.
Fam, she got a whole beard on under there, fam.
You don't know what I look like. I got to know the other day with my mask, but I was like, I have a hat and a mask, and I don't know what I look like, B. Like, you got the eyes. That's all you got.
Some eyes, girl.
And I was like, get the fuck. But yeah, no. I always say that to my friends. But I'm like, yo, you'd be surprised at how easy it is. I'm like, I'm real good at that. Like, I'm a real like slide my number on like a napkin kind of girl. I'll buy you a drink. Like, nothing too aggressive, but just a little bit. Be like,
just let you know, ladies, y'all hear this? There is nothing wrong.
Shoot that shot, baby girl.
With shooting your shot.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
One more time, people.
The best thing there, pick up your phone. And see what it brought. Be like, what you doing? My number's on your phone. What you doing on your phone, boy? See, he smiles, he laughs, he does.
Y'all see that, ladies? There's nothing.
You be like, I didn't text you yet. What you looking at? It's hilarious. It's funny. And then to pad it, ladies, because don't get me wrong, vulnerability is not my favorite thing, despite what you heard on the album. You can laugh that one away. Be like, oh, that was funny, right? Okay, it didn't work. I'm gonna go laugh over here. Like, and call it a day. Because it's funny. Open with a joke.
I like that because a lot of women are just like, I have a lot of women friends and just like, you like him? Yeah. You think he's cute? Yeah. He's not a mind reader. He's not gonna know. Like, say something. So that
don't press him too hard, but just the cute little like, are you cute or whatever?
Because a lot of it's from a male's perspective, from a man's perspective. It's does she have a man? Does she really want to be bothered?
I appreciate that men think about whether we want to be bothered. Because a lot of times we don't, and we get bothered, and then y'all get that friction response, and then it like tarnishes all responses going forward. But like,
and it wasn't even that type of. And it, like for me personally, I need to send more voice messages because my text messages get interpreted as something else. Like earlier today, I sent you that voice message.
I was like, hold up, Mr. Attitude, what's your attitude?
I was like, yeah, I was like, oh man, I completely understand why she thought that. I was like, no, nah, that's not the case. No, I'm so sorry. No, that's not the case. So like, I send voicemails now because most of the time I am joking, and it's like you don't know that if I'm just texting before. So
but yeah, lady, shoot your shot. You'd be surprised how great it works.
You know what I'm saying? Get your Kobe on.
Dude, get your Kobe on.
Wow, that's interesting.
Shoot that shot.
You hear that, lady? I just gotta keep emphasizing it.
Shoot that shot. That's real good. The phone one's always funny because they're always in their phone. I'm like, I didn't text you yet. What are you in your phone for? It's always a good one. So
bad timing. Oh man.
See what happens when you're being vulnerable? See what happens?
Story of my life.
You're vulnerable and see what happens is bad timing.
The story of my life. Bad
do what I say, not what I do, y'all.
Oh man. So how did bad timing come about? Gosh.
Pretty bad timing. So yeah, I thought it was kind of fun. No, that's exactly what it is. It's funny. All of my all my songs are from actual experiences. So it was something that could have worked and it didn't. But what's really interesting, it's something that it was never gonna go on the album. So it was one of the first songs I recorded was Bad Timing. It was before How It Feels.
Why'd you do it?
And it was cut until one night, like it was like 11th hour we decided to put it in, and I was in the studio with Term and one of our friends, and we had played it, and she was like, "You cut this off the album? Are you crazy?" And Term was like, "All right, we're gonna put it on," and it became everyone's like, it's like a crowd favorite. And I'm like, really, damn. And it's something I think it's because people can relate to it so easily.
That's why Bad Time became my favorite song.
Yeah. Oh, Bad Time is your favorite song? Yeah.
I was just like...
Bad timing, fam.
Yeah, I've experienced bad timings. Another podcast, another video for another time. But yeah, so Kind of Fine to me was desperation for me. And bad timing was bargaining because it's just like...
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I know this isn't the right time,
but can we make it the right time? Like, what can I do to make it the right
exactly,
time? Like, I'll figure it out. Like, it's cool. I'll add some new hours in the day. Like, what's good? Yeah.
I'll highlight you in the 25th hour.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, and it was a very, because and this comes out very ridiculous, but like, our jobs are getting rejected, but in love, being rejected is not something it sounds so good. I'm super familiar with. So like it was, and it's because I was in such a long-term relationship. I don't have too many places to draw from, and the places that I do, I didn't get rejected. So when I didn't necessarily no, you know what? I ain't gonna show you when I got rejected. That happened. And I was like, the fuck, like what? I was like, listen, we can figure it out. You don't really love that girl, like
you don't love her.
You don't love that girl. He still don't love that girl. You know that. But let me stop. That's trifling. Nice. It was my little Dirty Mackin' song. You gotta have a 90s Dirty Mackin' song.
I mean, would that be like I said, another podcast for another time. Woo! Well, yeah, this is about me. So, and this is funny. When I play the album for people, and then like it gets to that, they're like, "It's over." I'm like, the song is literally called "It's Over." Like, but I like it. Because like it completes the whole album, it puts everything in perspective. You know what I'm saying? And it's acceptance. It's just like, yeah, this is it. This is it. Like we've been through all this, but can't believe it's over now. I'm sorry that it's over, but it's just like, wow, that's okay.
And that was actually the last song I wrote on the album. It was the very last song I wrote.
Did you record? Was this the last time you recorded?
And the last time I recorded.
Wow, you actually did your album in order.
Yeah, for the most part, like Bad Timing. I think it was Better Man, Bad Timing, How It Feels, Can't Sleep. Kind of Fine and It's Over. Kind of Fine and It's Over were the last two. Yeah.
I have better handwriting than this, by the way. I believe you. I do. I have really good handwriting.
You can't write down your number for the ladies with that handwriting.
I know. I was
That's
hurrying.
also something that is underrated. Actual handwriting.
Listen.
If a man writes his number down on a napkin, I'll just be like, oh, boy, I need to keep that napkin up
You know
real
what I'm saying? I have to rewrite it, yes. I actually
it's
do
gonna
have-
look like chicken scratch.
It does look like chicken scratch. I was trying to hurry up, but I actually do have good handwriting. I really do have it.
So guys, this is work on.
See?
Okay, he does have good handwriting.
Nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, he does.
I had to. I had to put that out there. I'm proud of
That was
myself.
like,
for my handwriting.
ooh.
I know. I'm just like, I can see you looking. I'm just like, all right. I gotta say something about it. I gotta say something about it.
Like, what is that? Is that an E?
So, were there any songs that didn't need the cut?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There was actually, you know, there were originally it was Bad Timing and another song. Oh man, what was it? It was called "Like You Saw My Lover." Oh man, wow, I forgot about that one. And yeah, we ended up not doing that one. It was a little more. It was very like Janae Aiko, kind of like I was talking and I was singing, and yeah, that one we did. And Bad Timing originally was gonna be done, and we brought it back to life. So yeah, no, most songs that were made for this project ended up on the project.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's good.
There wasn't a lot that ended up.
Do you still have the copy of that other song?
Oh yeah, I do.
So you can send it to me?
I could. I will send it to you. You can hear it for sure. You definitely could.
Nice. So, where's your favorite place to eat at?
My favorite restaurant is called Rice and Beans, and it's on.
It's really called Rice and
It's
Beans?
called Rice and Beans.
Oh, I
yeah.
thought you were just saying
Nope,
that.
it's deadass called Rice and Beans. It's a Brazilian restaurant. Deadass. It's on 9th and like 52nd or Flor de Mayo for sure. On what is that? 101st and Broadway. Oof. Yes.
What would you get?
Flor de Mayo, I always get the same thing. I always get the half a chicken with moto rice, maduros, and a nutcracker. Because they serve nutcrackers in glasses.
Okay.
I can't believe you've never been. What? To Flor de Mayo? That's the shit.
Alright. Noted.
Yes.
Noted.
Put that down.
Noted.
It's good. It's a nice date spot. It's real cute.
If you could do a collaboration with any artist, dead or alive, who would it be?
Dead or alive? Oh, see, that makes it hard. Amy Winehouse. Amy is a lot of the reason why my music sounds the way it does, because you know, I grew up listening to like, you know, jazz and torch singers and stuff, and then like hearing Amy at the age that I heard her, so I was like high school or whatever. It was just like that's what when I hear music, that's what I want it to sound. It's like you're speaking all the things that I want to hear presently, but with a voice from the past kind of thing. You know what I mean? Nice. Yeah, but like, oh god, there's endless people I want to collab.
Wow, that's actually a good description of you. You talk about things in the present, but your voice comes from the past.
Thank you. I try. That's definitely what I like, you know, and what I aspire, because I want the messages to be timeless, you know. Even if, you know, my content, you know, I'm scrolling on my timeline and stuff, but like, you know, that's the equivalent of like waiting up for a phone call before there was a timeline. Right?
Exactly.
Like, you know,
exactly.
sitting on like AIM, hoping somebody's screen name's about to pop up. Like,
AIM,
like please let so-and-so 212 sign in.
Oh my
so
gosh.
Put my away message and be salty.
With Black Planet too? And
Exactly. Maybe a little like just Skonex alerts. Skonex. I'm old as shit.
Oh my gosh.
But it's that same thing. It's just, you know, it's like as time progresses, it manifests differently. But it's the same waiting and that anticipation.
Oh no, your album is definitely timeless. Yeah. Your album is definitely timeless.
Yeah.
If you could pick a song to be on any movie soundtrack, what would it be?
From my album? Oh, it'd be Better Man. And does it have to be a movie soundtrack, or can it be a you know, if I did Better Man and I put it for like, you know, if we could like go back and rescore like The Best Man, that would slap. Or like Kind of Fine for Brown Sugar. Like I'm thinking like that would slap.
You ever seen Boomerang?
Have you seen what?
Boomerang.
Of course
Okay. Yo, some people.
That's tomfoolery.
I mean, I agree. I agree. Some people just you never heard
Boomerang.
Right. Yeah, I definitely can hear. I can hear maybe Better Man.
Yeah,
Or
that'd be dope.
Kind of Fine on a Boomerang soundtrack.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, I could definitely.
you ever want to do a remake, Netflix, you
Yo.
do all these remakes, like,
Facts.
I like the kid.
Facts, Netflix.
I can act in sync. So just one budget. You only gotta pay me one time.
That is a fact. I've been put down to a universe where Netflix, I want to do Boomerang over, right?
You right here.
Modern day Marcus. Actually, my homegirl, actually, because that's one of our favorite songs, she's like, Marcus, darling.
Marcus,
You win for the day, you win for the day, you win. So as we start to draw this to the close, who were some of the people that inspired, I know you said your parents were heavy into music and entertainment in general, but who were some specific singers, rappers, entertainers that just inspired you?
Oh man, Sarah Vaughan, torch singers were really big. My dad would just play jazz music and torch singers a lot. So like Sarah Vaughan, Billie Holiday, but then on the flip side I have my mom, with the Tina always and the Supremes, and my father's from Panama, so there's a lot of Latin influence. So like all the Celia Cruz and La India and all that kind of melded together. Frank Sinatra, I listen to so much Frank Sinatra, it's insane. But like all of that melded together kind of birthed me. And then when I got older and saw like the Lauryn Hills and the Erykah Badu's and the Amy Winehouses, I was like, if I could just blend that all together and make it a thing, maybe I might have some semblance of a career here.
Nice. So, as we look to the past, can we get maybe a sneak peek to something that's coming?
You know what? I do have some stuff coming up. I've kind of taken a pause on releasing music though. Just due to the current state of things. Unless I'm out here, about to write the next what's going on. I don't feel right dropping, turn up. My homegirls are going to Miami music. It's not, we're in a revolution, y'all. We're not turning up and going to Miami right now. We're protesting. So
I agree.
I've definitely, and I think it's our responsibility as artists to not necessarily stop your work, but be really conscious with your work right now.
Yes.
You see some people come out no shade, no foul, but I'm not trying to. No one's clapping cheeks, y'all. It's a fucking revolution. Not right now.
Time and place.
So time and place. So hopefully things are a little better in August, and maybe we'll get a little turn up record. Mia's not so sad no more, so she's making turn up records now. But yeah, I'm definitely in quarantine. I've started writing a lot more and writing a little differently, playing new melodies, trying to switch it up a little bit while still staying unique to my style, or true to my style rather. But yeah, so hopefully very soon.
Okay, good. I'm happy to hear that. I'm very happy to hear that. Like I said, I knew that you wrote your own music because it was just way too personal, but just to hear that you write your own music instead of assuming, that is wonderful. So, last question, Miss Mia Jae. If you could go to any place in time, where would you go?
Any place in time. See, I feel like there's gotta be caveats, right? Because I would love to be in New York at the peak of the 80s and turn up Harlem in the 80s, turn up on 8th Harlem in the 80s with my Dapper Danned out Accurate Legend. But I would have to have drug dealer money, but that's probably what would happen. But 80s Harlem would be wavy with a Louis Vuitton interior, Accurate Legend.
All right.
That's what we do with gold BBSs, straight Mitch coming home paid in full kind of hour. That's what we doing. That would be good.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Well, Miss Mia Jae, thank you so much for taking the time. No problem at all. Thank you. This is one of my favorite albums. I told y'all, I don't interview people that I just haphazardly listen to. If I interview you, that means I've been to your restaurant, eaten all of your stuff, listened to your album, or I know you personally, or just there is some connection. I'm not just interviewing people for the sake of interviewing them. And I also feel a lot of our black leaders, they always emphasize our own media. I think it's very important for us to tell our own stories through our own perspectives. Yeah, tell our own stories from our own perspective. So I definitely think, I'm glad that we sat down and you got to tell your story of this album. Like I said, I'm a very big fan, so I was very excited for this. You know, high-level conversations and observations are the new normal. High intelligent conversations are the new normal people.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Remember that when you shoot your shot. Remember
Exactly.
We like to have conversations. Shoot that shot.
Shoot that shot. So, I have been Mr. Richie Moon. This has been the lovely Miss Mia Jae. Thank you everybody for watching, for listening. Before we go, tell people where they can find you at.
Oh, you can find me home somewhere, I don't know. But you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, all of the social medias at Mia Jae, MIAJAE. The website is miajaemusic.com. And hopefully when the world opens up again, I will be doing a show somewhere near y'all.
Yeah. Facts. Go see her perform. She's very, very passionate on stage.
Definitely.
With that being said, like I said, I've been Mr. Richie Moon. This has been Mia Jae. This has been the Mr. Richie Moon Show. What are we gonna call this episode?
I don't know. Shoot your shot.
Shoot shot?
Shoot your shot. Ladies, shoot that shot. I promise it works way more often than you think.
This episode is called
Shoot your shot.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Peace.